Hello there! It's me, I know! Yeah, if you're wondering why my mic sounds so unbelievably terrible, TLDR, I've had a bunch of severe technical difficulties lately, so I've pretty much... I haven't had to go and get a new one, but like, it hasn't been doing the best, you know? So yeah, apologies. Apologies for not sounding so good, okay? We cool? We cool. We cool. So, because of a certain movie trailer that dropped recently that I'm very fucking excited for, we're gonna do a Spider-Man ranking, you know, or tier list. I don't know, is the tier list, but I might try and do it in order. Of release, that's right. I tricked you, didn't I? I'm gonna go in order of release, and at the very end, I'm gonna rank them all. I'm not gonna count Venom, because I haven't seen it. I can't help that. I haven't seen the damn film. I mean, I might go watch it sometime, and I might make it. I might make a part 2 of this after No Way Home comes out, and I'll see it because I'm definitely gonna see it because I fucking love Spidey. Spidey's one of my favorite characters ever. So you know. So we're gonna start with the good old first Sam Raimi, which is the definition of like great, but not like perfect. It's good in a lot of areas. Tobey Maguire, I'm just gonna get this out of the way. He's my favorite Spider-Man. I feel like it's mainly because he managed to get the best of both, and he's not the most accurate, but it's more of like, he's the most accurate, but more of like what I expect, if that makes sense. Like Andrew Garfield's a little bit too cocky sometimes, especially in the first one, and Tom Holland's a little bit too. I'll get to him. Right, I'm not like a lot of other MCU hate boys, but I have problems with one of the movies. That's all I'm gonna say. So yeah, Sam Raimi's first Spider-Man is an all-time classic. Honestly, it's great. It has a killer soundtrack. Honestly, the soundtrack's surprisingly good. Tobey Maguire's great. Kirsten Dunst is great. James DeFranco's great, and Willem Dafoe. He just sells it in fucking as the Green Goblin. Like there are so many quotable lines from this film, and like half of them are from fucking Willem Dafoe. Back to formula. He does that. He does that weird thing with his voice whenever he's being the Green Goblin, and it's amazing. It's just every scene with him is so entertaining. Like even the scene where he dies, he just goes, "Oh," like he didn't even like judge it. He's like, "Oh, okay." Like every part of this movie is good, but I don't think it's like to the level of holy shit, this is amazing. You know, it's just a lot of good. There's a lot of good aspects, but it's not like a perfect movie. I feel like I can't really say my problems with it. It's just not as perfect as you know, fucking Spider-Man 2 S tier. Do I even have to explain? It's Spider-Man motherfucking 2. It's one of the best superhero movies ever made. One of my favorite movies ever made. And it's just everything about it just works, you know. Doc Ock is great. Alfred Molina does a great job of him. Tobey Maguire, like all the returning cast are great as usual. This film is just it's just really like poignant, like the kind of depression metaphor. That's kind of what most people take from it, is that metaphor of like depression and like because there's the whole thing with Spider-Man not being able to use his powers because he's so caught up in MJ and stuff like that. That's like the entire point of the movie is him learning to like deal with his own problems pretty much. And I like how it says like for the most part Spider-Man doesn't really do a lot of good things for Peter. He's just a good person. He has the great responsibility that comes with the great power. You know, like, because Spider-Man is the reason he can't go out with MJ, which is why his powers aren't working at all. It's why he gets fired, he can't make it to his college like classes at all. His life is falling apart, but he still continues to like be Spider-Man. But when he can't like do it, you see how much better his life is, and it's really poignant how it shows. I think this is the reason why Tobey Maguire is everyone's favorite Spider-Man because of that, because of Spider-Man 2. Because he acknowledges like being Spider-Man isn't all great, and it screws me over a lot of the time. But I don't care. I'm doing what's right and what's most important, and that's just really poignant. You know, it's like a really good message of do what's right, not what's easy. No. And just in general, like, this movie isn't as meme-filled as the first one, at least to me. But it still has some great lines. One of my favorites being, pizza time. I don't know why I can quote, like, almost the entire movies. It's sad. But yeah, in general, this is a high tier, S tier movie. Fucking great. Spider-Man 3, however, I'm really not sure whether to put it in C and D, because I originally imagined, I wrote it down a little bit, not a script, just like writing down my general thoughts and all that. And I wasn't sure where to put it, because I was originally thinking, oh, it's D tier, but like, now that I think about it, I think C. Because, fuck you, I like it. It's not good, there are so many problems, but there's just so much good things about it. It more than just the entertaining part. Like, it's not a good movie, but it's so entertaining. Do I look like I really care? Like, I just realized I forgot to mention the best part of this entire trilogy. J.K. motherfucking Simmons was J. Jonah Jameson, who just carries almost every scene he's in. Not because everyone else is bad, no, just because he's that fucking amazing as Jonah. There's a reason he's like stuck around in everything. Like, even in like fucking No Way Home and shit, they're still using him because they know it's J.K. Simmons. He is J. Jonah Jameson. And you get like the thing is with Spider-Man 3, right? You have, I wouldn't mind it so much if it was Sandman and the New Goblin, because I really like Sandman. I couldn't tell you why, but from when I was a kid, and like back when I was watching Ultimate Spider-Man, and I believe we had Spectacular Spider-Man occasionally on Disney XD over here when I was growing up. Yeah, and I remember like I don't think like Sandman appeared that often, if at all. I don't think he even appears in Spectacular. I haven't seen it in a while. But like whenever I did see him, it was like, yay, him! You know, because he's cool. He's cool. I like the sand powers. You know, and the New Goblin makes sense. Then we have Venom, who shits all over it. And I'm sorry, Topher Grace does not do a good job as him. Even I could beat him up. Honestly, he looks. Also, he's not intimidating at all. Like there's the fucking like the line during the climax, like, "Oh, my spider sense is tingling," if you know what I mean. And that line kills me. Not because it's funny, but also it's so shit. And like that's the definition of fucking Spider-Man 3. It's kind of bad, but I love it. And also there's the elephant in the room when it comes to Spider-Man 3. Yep. Motherfucking Bully Maguire fucking drive that fucking zone down the fucking street dancing into the best scene of the trilogy. I don't take criticism. So next up is The Amazing Spider-Man. This movie would be so much better if the Raimi movies didn't exist. And I'm not just saying that because, oh, I can compare it to the Raimi movies. I'm saying that because it's trying not to be them in so many ways. Like, I know people say, oh, it's dark, I didn't want to be in the Raimi movies. No, it's still kind of silly. It's just the fact that a lot of lines and a lot of, like, scenes are really obviously trying to be, like, iconic like Raimi, but doing ever so different so we can get away with it. Like, my favorite example of that is, you know, the Spider-Man line, with great power comes great responsibility, right? And fucking Uncle Ben in this movie says, like, if you have the power to do those things and you don't do them, that's on you. And it's just the most roundabout way of saying it, and I kind of love just how, like, obviously they were trying to skirt the classic line. I don't know why they skirt it, because it's the Spider-Man line. It isn't just something Raimi made up. It's been in the comics. Like, I think it was actually the thing that ended the first Spider-Man comic. Like, at the end, like, Peter said, like, because with this great power comes great responsibility. You know? But in general, I do like this film, but yeah, Andrew Garfield is Spider-Man. For a lot of this film feels evil. Cosmo Variety Hour, you think he put it best, where, like, even though he definitely does get a bit too butthurt over it, in my opinion, he does say how, like, it's so wrong he's doing it out of revenge. And I think he starts a little bit he's a bit too mean for a bit too much of it, at least for me. I don't know. My two cents, my 2 pence. But yeah, it's a good movie. The action is really good, and honestly, Spider-Man suit, really good. I don't know, just something about the really big blue and the way it's obviously, like, made out of homemade materials, you know? I like. Next up, Do I have to talk about? I have to. F tier. This movie is so bad. Wow, it is bad. I'm sorry, it's not good. Okay, the thing is, a lot of people don't understand why this movie is so bad. The plot makes no sense. That's all I really need to say. I can't make sense of it. A lot of the actors are very obviously like just not sure what to do in a lot of scenes. Like every scene with Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone just feels so awkward because they're just Peter and Gwen just obviously ad-libbing shit, and it's just so like it's not awkward in a good way. It's more of just, can we hurry this along? Yeah, there's also the fact that, okay, just to get a few things out of the way. Yeah, the fact that Gwen Stacy breaks up with, and like Peter break up like 8 times or some shit like that in this movie. Like, it's, and there's like electro. I like the dubstep, honestly. I don't like dubstep as a general. I like kind of modernizing the electro thing. Also, I have to admit, it's not electro from like the comics or anything, but it's still a baller ass design. The way his like everything looks like it's just a Tesla kind of thing. The little Tesla balls. It looks really cool, especially the scene where like he kills the guy and he like materializes behind him. That is like one of the very few times I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool. Just in general, the action is really good in the Amazing Spider-Man movies. Only thing amazing about them was this has the best out of any of the has the best suit out of any of the movies. Don't at me. It's the perfect level of comic accuracy, but still changing up things a little bit, so it isn't just a comic suit. But I like it. I like it. Next up, we have Spider-Man: Homecoming. Now you heard me say bad things about the MCU Spider-Man, so what am I going to think of this movie? It's really good. A tier. I like this film. What? I think Homecoming is good, and I'm sick of pretending it's not. The thing is, it's good, but another movie kind of out just completely removes it. But I like how it stayed true to being the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. That's something that a lot of people were worried about, is that Spider-Man was going to be, because like the MCU was all about like big world-ending threats, and you know people were like, whoa, that's not going to be good, and like, but no, they just kept it small. They used Vulture, and they did something really cool with him, having him use like tech from Ultron, and the plot isn't to like save the entire world from the big blue beam to space. No, it's just stop like a bunch of like illegal weapons getting out and essentially causing like panics and like riots in cities and shit. And I like that. That's a very Spider-Man feeling thing. Not like a big blue beam to space. No, just doing something good for the fucking like the New York. You know, like Tom Holland's a good ass Spider-Man. He's a good ass actor, good ass Spider-Man. I don't have any complaints about him. He's good. He's good. Also, this movie is definitely on like the funnier side of the MCU. Because I stood by the fact, the problem is with so many MCU movies, they undermine themselves constantly with jokes rather than having the jokes add to them. Which is why films like the more comedy-centric films, like, you know, Guardians of the Galaxy, Thor Ragnarok, like the ones like Spider-Man: Homecoming, the one that lean more into the comedic side, I feel like work because they're not just being forced in there. Like Endgame and Infinity will really struggle with that. This film has a really good balance of it, honestly, and I really like that. It's very good. This film is good. I like the new outfit Spider-Man has. It's a very cool looking one, and yeah, no complaints from me. This is definitely one of the highlights of the MCU for me. Now we're gonna go into Spider-Verse. Now this is tough. Do I put it in S or A? Do I put this in an amazing looking film with fucking great ass visuals? In that, yeah, of course I do. The thing is, I will say the Spider-Verse, right? Everything else about it is like A to B. There's nothing truly amazing about it, aside from one aspect: the fucking visuals. Like, I think the way they make everything look like a comic ever so slightly, with like the like little dot tones everywhere, and like the occasional like comic style like flashes that appear on screen, shit like that, and just the general animation style. Oh, this film is just hella good to watch. Like, and they knew it because they made like the entire like last part of the movie this massive, cool fucking trip, pretty much. I'm not the biggest fan of like. Okay, yeah. The thing is, Penny Parker, Peter Parker, and Spider-Man Noir, they're all right. I don't care too much about them. But like the main like three, Miles, like Peter B. Parker, and like Gwen, for all those three are like really good. Whilst this film is funny, I like the scene like looking at like Kingpin's like thing, and it's like this couldn't be that easy, and then me just jump cuts to a minute. That was easy. Also, I also really like how they push the character design slightly. Like Penny is literally just anime, like fucking Peter Pork is literally just a cartoon pig, and I like how they made Octavius a girl. That's something I really like. I don't know why. It's a very refreshing thing rather than seeing this middle-aged man in tight spandex and the worst trim I've ever seen. And instead we have like a middle-aged woman doing it. I don't know. It's a nice change of pace. Also, yeah, these goddamn visuals. I'm sorry, but like the "What's Up Danger" scene is the best scene of any Spider-Man movie. I'll stand by that. But yeah, in general, Spider-Verse, hella good movie. I think it's just really good. Kingpin has the best design of anything ever. He's just a big blob with a face. And I love that. It's so dumb looking. But now we have to move on to Far From Home. Remember, remember how the entire plot of Homecoming was essentially Peter trying to live up to Iron Man, realizing I'm not Iron Man. I'm Spider-Man. I shouldn't try and do these big world-ending threats. I should just stay in my area and do that, you know? And that's like I do, and think that's a good thing. That was really good about Homecoming. I mean, like the end scene where like the Iron Spider suit and Peter's like, no, I wanna stay here. I'm gonna be good, Mr. Stark. I'm just your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. And that was good. That is a good thing. This film didn't do that, and that's why it gets to the D tier. I do like parts of this film. I personally feel like the Mysterio illusion scene with like when it goes inside Peter's mind or whatever and like makes him like the bit when it all goes like black and you see like the random things come up. That scene is really good. If that scene was like in any other film, I would love it so much more. The only problem is that yeah, the entire plot of this film essentially just devolves into undoing everything he learned in the original movie. For example, why is Spider-Man going across the world? I mean, I get you want a movie, but still, the whole point of Spider-Man is that he's the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. He stays in New York. That's what he does. He doesn't go around the world with drones and, like, stop London Bridge. You know, and in general, this film has, like, a lot of really awkward scenes that aren't so, like, good. Like the scene where he almost drone strikes his fucking classmate. I mean, it was kind of funny. On the other hand, it was really obviously just looking at the script. There's not enough action scenes. We haven't set up the drones, even though they could do that in, like, any other way. So you make this really awkward action scene with like drones and shit, and it's really dumb. And then there's also Mysterio, who's actually really good. You know what? I was thinking about Mysterio in this film. I'm gonna bump it up to C. There are a lot of aspects I do like in this film. I like how they made Mysterio cool. Because like a lot of the time you get two aspects of Mysterio and both are good. You have complete like manipulative illusionist awesomeness, like in Far From Home and like in some of the comics, or you get like like a Spider-Man 2 video game level where one punch does all of his health and he's just this dumb theater kid, and both work. Jake Gyllenhaal carries his fucking role as fucking Mysterio. There's definitely some weird stuff. For example, why in the fuck is he getting mixed up with Nick Fury? That's like the one thing. You don't make Spider-Man an Avenger. That's like the big thing. I'm not one for like the comic accuracy. Oh, you have to always be accurate. But at the same time, like, there's a difference between inaccuracies and straight up misunderstanding the character. And that's what I feel Far From Home does a lot. It really misunderstands like the entirety of Spider-Man's character and feels like such a step back from Homecoming. So yeah, we will end it there. I hope you guys enjoy. Don't kill me. And remember, I hope you guys enjoy watching No Way Home when that comes out, and I hope to God Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are in it. Arrivederci. Yeah, this is added to me. I forgot to rank them all, so we're gonna do that. Okay. You got me. 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 You got me, bro. Yeah. Okay. So, at number 8 we have the Amazing Spider-Man 2. At number 7 we have Far From Home. Number 6 we have Spider-Man 3. Number 5 we have the Amazing Spider-Man. At number 4 we have Spider-Man Homecoming. Number 3 we have Spider-Man. Number 2 Into the Spider-Verse. And number 1 Spider-Man 2. Now for real, arrivederci.